Gordon's got the ground game. It's the coach, and you're watching Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll get a look at Melvin Gordon, fresh off a big game a week ago, as it'll be the LA Chargers taking on the Indianapolis Colts. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach from the heartland of America, EA Sports coverage of the NFL takes us to Lucas Oil Stadium here in Indianapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Indianapolis Colts. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we take a look at the Colts entering play. They come in the midst of a pretty bad stretch here. Losers of 5 straight.
So many different reasons teams hit the losing skids, but the best way out of it, something has to happen positive early in the game.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Chargers, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row. Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? We just saw down that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice gain there. They run again on first down. Anderson. And he's going to get across midfield and into Charger territory. And there are the numbers for C.J. Anderson on the ground last week. 11 carries, 51 yards.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football. I don't know if you're going to do it through the air or maybe change up how you establish your run game.
On second down, Anderson. He gets it forward for 4, maybe 5, but the flags fly. And this one could be coming back.
Holding offense.
Can see this quite a bit on running plays with the guys out wide. A lot of times, though, it doesn't get caught.
You're exactly right, because it's away from the play usually, so a lot of it goes undetected. But I know this will surprise you. I coach some receivers in the offseason. We work a lot on hand placement and blocking downfield. Might want to take that course.
Here's Luck. Ebron caught left side. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance. The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
So here's the Charger offense making their way out. They'll be led out by their veteran quarterback out of North Carolina State. It's Phillip Rivers.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
They'll run. This is Melvin Gordon. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series...
Kiss him goodbye, Travis Benjamin. And all the way in for a Charger touchdown. Travis Benjamin, 78 yards. And the Chargers have taken a first quarter lead.
I know these wide receivers are about flash and dash and high-flying plays, but a good number of them played running back at some point in their career, and that's how they finish off a lot of their big plays, run after the catch.
And this time he finishes off the big play in the end zone. Sturgis out now to kick this one off. Fielded about a yard deep. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. As the Colts offense makes their way out, we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
You're impressed, don't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games? Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadruple. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
Following the penalty, Anderson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
On second down, here's Locke. Forced out to his left. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain.
Partner was a definite passing down, but he was able to leak out and pick up some good yardage, even though the coverage was excellent. Maybe it's not exactly how they drew it up, but he still got a big chunk of yardage on second down.
Throwing on third down, Love. And incomplete as the screen there unsuccessful. So now fourth down coming up.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. So out come the Chargers. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now Gordon on 1st down. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case. That play got bottled up.
On 2nd down, they'll run with Gordon. And able to work his way down to the 16. And he's able to get more than half of what they needed. That brings up a 3rd and 5.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
Rivers from the gun on third down. Got a man. It's complete. Williams. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Let's go.
First and goal, Melvin Gordon. And he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. Melvin Gordon hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Chargers find a way to stretch their lead. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Sturgis out now to kick this one off. Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's Luck now on second down. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
From the gun on third down, Luck. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Melvin Gordon now, he and the offense, they trot back out there. And you see his numbers from a week ago. He was up over 100 yards then, and he's already hit pay dirt here once in this one.
We always talk about quarterbacks and receivers getting into rhythm, right? Really feeling good, finding each other downfield. I think running backs operate the same way. They can hit a good rhythm and a good stride, and he's carrying it over from last week.
This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
Now Rivers. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
They're blitzing like that. Running back usually a good spot to go with the football.
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back now to begin the second quarter with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's the Chargers here with a football, but they face a second and long to start things out. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. Rivers now from the 50. To the side, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
I know where we're headed on this. Terrific catch, gets his feet down, sets up a 4th down and short situation. But I bet we're wondering, why didn't he get to the first down marker running his route? Am I correct?
You got to know where the marker is, right?
Got to figure it out. I know every receiver is taught that. Sometimes circumstances change it. At least they have an opportunity to make a decision with not much yardage to go.
They start the drive with Anderson. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Locke. Wide open. That's Clark. They lost him. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a 1st down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their route, and they're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3 cut, balls out of his hands to the receiver. In this case, might be off by a half step either way. They've got to find a way to get back in sync.
They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
One of the things that really impressed me about Joey Bosa is that he doesn't sacrifice the run game trying to get sacks. This guy really knows how to hold the point of attack, great leverage, and then goes and sheds people and makes plays.
And at 6'5", 270, just a monster.
Absolute monster with a really high motor.
The passing game for the Colts finding its stride, another 1st down.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there.
Anderson loses the football, and this is recovered by the Chargers. Not the trend he wanted to start the season with a fumble lost in both weeks 1 and 2. Now, it's not a disaster, but certainly not what he was looking for.
Got to get that fixed because otherwise he shows up on every scouting report. I remember sitting in defensive rooms and hearing the scouting report from my coaches, and if someone had a particular problem carrying the ball and holding on to it, that was noted. Hey, make sure you get a little extra attention to him. Get after the football. He's dropped it the last couple of games.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice, easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Now a 2nd down throw for Rivers. And his throw is incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. from the shotgun. It's Rivers. And he's got a man open. That's Allen. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Allen's first catch. Good for a first down.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now Rivers going to give it off to Gordon. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Second down, Rivers sets up the screen to Gordon. A good job defensively to hold that to 4 yards, and now it's 3rd down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed, but all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
They'll try and run it. Here's Gordon. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And in the next breath, they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. They go back to Gordon here on first down. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5.
What a luxury to have a guy like this who can not only spell your starter, but can come in and keep drives going.
The Chargers on 3rd down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. The Chargers passing game rolling a bit here. They've got another first. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Indianapolis right after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Throws left side, complete to Keenan Allen. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Henry. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal.
I know that halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. Here's 1st and goal, and gosh, points here, a chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime. Now Rivers going to give to Gordon on the draw, and he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
Rivers now on second down. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So it's third and long for the Chargers and Rivers after the sack. From the gun, Rivers. This is Gordon on the dump off. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Caleb Sturgis now for the Charger field goal. From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt. And Sturgis able to knock it through. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So you're a boxing guy. How do you score that on your boxing card? A very long drive, but 3 points.
And I really want to do my boxing analyst voice right here, but I'm going to keep it normal for us, right? I call it a draw. That type of a drive has to feel good, right? You take it all the way downfield, you control the ball, control the clock. But they only got 3 points out of it. So defensively, it could have been worse, right? So I give it a draw.
And the Colts getting ready to go. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. He's going to let this one go deep. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Here's Locke. He goes underneath for Anderson. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Another good reception there. The Colts on the march. Now they got to get to the line quickly. On 1st down, it's Locke. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. They'll start the drive with a run by Gordon. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Rivers going to turn and give this one to his running back, Gordon. And he was very fortunate there to get out of his end zone. He maybe got back to the 2-yard line. So we have reached halftime intermission with the visiting Chargers on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. The weather might be cold, but the playoff races are heating up here on this final Sunday before Christmas. So let's get to it. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. In the game you're watching, it's the veteran Phillip Rivers who's up to his old tricks. He's thrown for over...
No, I'm not mad at you for skipping halftime, but can I just have a sip of water real quick? Please, thank you. All right, let's go. So the Chargers will start the second half with the lead and the football as we're underway in the third quarter. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Chargers as they'll go on offense now to start this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Working out of the gun, Rivers. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Brandon Carr, and they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board. And the best part is that they made their own break, taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys, let's go. Come on, capitalize on this one. And they'll try to fire up the running game with C.J. Anderson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw two tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and he ran the ball successfully behind that power set. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. 10th carry now for Anderson. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. Look, the first down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it. And boy, the reward was there. A big pickup
And guess what? It's now 3rd and very short in order to try and pick up a first down.
They'll run it. Here's Anderson. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. Losing 4 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
Joey Bosa with the tackle for loss. How about that pedigree in his family?
Yeah, some good pedigree. Tell us about it, Mr. Davis.
Dad played in the NFL, first-round draft pick. Uncle was a first-round draft pick. He's got a brother coming behind him. But Joey Bosa, guy plays really, really hard and plays all aspects on defense.
Going to throw right side here, complete. And he is going to have the first down here, but hold on. As there's a flag on the field, and I think someone got held.
Offense.
That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against him.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. They'll try and get the ground game going. Here's Gordon. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
This is Gordon as they go to him again. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The Chargers on 3rd down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5.
Run 80.
From the gun, Rivers. Open man, it's Allen. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Charger first.
But we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the #1 receiver double covered. But how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
Rivers now, pretty amazing. 14 of 16 throwing the ball. It's 1st and 10. Now movement up front. I think they're going to get one of the Charger linemen.
Offense.
Well, this O-line's been great. They've got the big lead, so give them a pass there, I guess.
Yeah, I would think so, because if we were grading them on their performance in this game, a lot of pluses in their boxes so far.
The false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. Following the penalty, here's Gordon. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
They keep it on the ground. Again, Gordon. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
3rd and long for Rivers. It's caught on the right side. Williams. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Well, that's certainly playing down a distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And now Indianapolis set to take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Play action. It's Luck. And an alley to run. And they'll get him down up past the 15. Luck showing he can be dangerous when he tucks it and runs. He's able to pick up the first down.
How about that scramble by Andrew Luck? Sometimes we forget just how big, strong, and, yes, fast Andrew Luck is. When he came out of college at the Combine, shocked everyone, ran a sub-4 840.
And he grew up a big soccer guy over in Europe, so he knows how to use his feet.
That he does, and I think it has helped his legs along the way as well.
Runs through the contact, and he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
They run it again with Anderson. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10. Luck on first down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Derwin James with a pick. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Now a 20th carry, number 20 here for Melvin Gordon. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Ready, run 80, and hot.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Now a handoff. This is Gordon. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's Charger football, and they've got the lead as well as we begin the 4th quarter. The Chargers on 3rd down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Now Rivers. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. And Sturgis able to knock it through. And the lead now increases to 20-0. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know, in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. As the Colts offense makes their way out, we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. Luck and the Colts come up now 1st and 10 at about the 32. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here.
12.
To throw on second down is Locke. Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. Melvin Ingram in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And the pressure gets to him again. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
He's got Harrison left side complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. But no reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth. On 1st and 10, Locke. And it's complete over the middle to Clark. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A good pickup there of 22. From the red zone now, Locke. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. Melvin Ingram in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year.
It's interesting, partner, that most defenses try and guard the 35-yard line actively because they think the way kickers are nowadays, about a 52-yard field goal, they're kind of giving up points. But you get even deeper in the territory, you get into the red zone, they're going to guard it even more, which means more pressure, more blitzing.
That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for third down. Third down now, it's C.J. Anderson. And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. C.J. Anderson, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Colts are able to draw a bit closer.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Ready, set 180.
Now the handoff comes to Gordon. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the fourth quarter, we see both teams hold up the four fingers, fourth quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the four fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it, and let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. On third down, this is Melvin Gordon. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. And now here's a timeout called by the Colts on the defensive side of the ball. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. Now Gordon. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. And another timeout taken by the Colts. That's going to be their second. They'll be left with one more plus the 2-minute warning. And we'll be back. On third down, Rivers. And it's complete to the right side. It's Allen. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this fourth quarter. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Desmond King picks it, and this is going to be a Charger touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them into the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared. I know they didn't tack on the 2 points, but I liked their attempt. After the interception return for a touchdown, I was thinking to myself, forget kicking it, go for 2, and they did.
Well, yeah, and everybody's scrambling. Maybe you catch the defense on their heels. They weren't ready to be out there.
Yeah, it's almost like a sudden change, right? There's a turnover, you take it away, they stuck it in the end zone, keep the momentum going. Give credit to the defensive guys for rallying and stopping that 2-point attempt.
Fresh off the pick six, it's Locke. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Back to the air, Locke on second down. Throw left side complete. It's Harrison. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. Now a first down throw. Locke. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. A very solid gain of 27. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. On first down, Locke. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third. And the third down pass falls incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
To throw is Locke. Over the middle, he'll give it to Harrison. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And he will score. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Andrew Luck, his 19th touchdown now on the season. And the Colts are able to cut into this lead.
And that touchdown puts us in a position to have a discussion, doesn't it? Now it'll be a two-score game after the conversion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt with a two-score game they're going to have to onside kick it. We'll just see if they've got a miracle up their sleeve.
And you wonder what onside kicks they're going to use and in what sequence if they hope to have a chance to win this game.
And this will not work out. The Chargers able to recover. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none.
Ready? Hey, bro, 80.
Victory formation time for the Chargers. They take a knee. Kneel down here from Rivers, and that should be it.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band